All right, so I picked up a absolute cinematic masterpiece on Blu-ray, and I had to share it because I am actually excited about this. I never thought it would come out on Blu-ray. It took an independent person. I think it's the people who own the movie, own the rights to the movie. They just did it independently, so they didn't go through like a third party. I don't think it's something that you can even find on Amazon. You have to go to the website, and that is The Legend of Boggy Creek. Now, what this is think of okay. So first of all, it's made in the '70s, so it's got that creepy sort of. There's something about the '70s. Uh, the way the film stock, a lot of the film stock they use, the graininess, the way it was edited. A lot of like horror movies or just creepy movies from that era just have an extra layer of creepiness just because of the way it was filmed, and just something about that era. I can't put my finger on exactly what it is. This has that DNA all over it, and it really does lend itself a lot more to the creep factor. But what it is essentially Arkansas's version of Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot-like creature that lived in the Boggy Creek region of Arkansas, and that's right near the border of Texas. And funny enough, whenever we travel to MagFest or well, any place on the East Coast, we usually always have to go through Boggy Creek. Now we don't see any monsters because we're still on the highway during it, but that whole region has a bunch of stories of this hairy creature that essentially is Bigfoot. And what they did in this movie was they took a lot of those stories, and it's a really weird hybrid between kind of like a documentary and a narrative, sort of. So they took these stories and they did reenactments of them, but kind of, if I remember correctly, kind of weaved it around into like somewhat of an overarching narrative. So it's like this hybrid of a movie that's supposed to be based on a true story. All these stories are supposed to be real. We actually had to watch this movie in a film school, like in year 2000 or so. For me, no, 1999, 98. I don't remember. God, time. It's insane how quickly time is flying by. But we had to, because of just the nature and how it was made and how different it was. So we had to watch it and write a little write up on it. But I had actually known about this movie before that. I was at my grandparents' house and it came on TV, I think. But I remember watching it and it scared the bejesus out of me. I'm telling you, this was just an absolute creepy movie for a kid because it felt like you were watching something real at times. And again, you had that factor of it being shot in the 70s. Man, it just has that sort of feel to it where it's just genuinely uneasy. And I actually showed this to Melvor, or did he watch it on his own? I can't remember. All I know is we both know about the movie. I think I brought the DVD over to Melvor's, and this was maybe like 15, 17 years ago. That's the only copy I've ever had of this, by the way, is on DVD. And I took it over and I showed him, and he was like strangely just fascinated by it. I can't say it's an amazing movie, but there's just something about it, again, that just kind of keeps you glued to it. They'll bust out in like songs, every once in a while, and not in a comical fashion, but just like a more serious sort of tone, like a somber song out of nowhere about a character. And you're sitting there scratching your head thinking, why are we doing this? But it just has that time frame. That, I guess maybe that was something they did back then. I don't know. But yeah, the DVD was the only version of this that I had, and it's a DVD, and I don't watch it very often because whenever I watch DVDs now, it's like I can't, because I'm a technical person when it comes to making these things. I look at all the artifacts and just how crappy it looks on DVD, and it takes me out of it, and I'm like, crap, I'm watching something so low res in the years of 4K and all that stuff. Whatever. I guess I'm a snob like that. But anyway, when when I heard that this was going to be coming out on Blu-ray, I knew I had to have it. So from everything that I've heard, I've not watched it yet. As you can see, I just got it in the mail, so it's completely wrapped up still. I have heard that it is a really, really good transfer. I hope those people weren't lying. But it was remastered in 4K. I guess the people that own, I don't know if the film is owned by like an individual or something, I think now, not even like a company. From what I gathered, now I may be totally wrong about that. I could be, but it sounds like it is actually just, it's owned by like a person, like an individual. They bought the rights to the movie. And they got the original film and rescanned it in 4K, which is amazing. That's exactly what you want to do to preserve a movie like this. You need to go back to the original negatives, and you need to scan those things in at the highest resolution you can. And well, for this film stock, I probably would only be 4K, but I guess maybe you can go a little higher. But for a home video and all that stuff, 4K, you don't need to go beyond 4K. Unless your TV is like 100 feet, the resolution between 4K and 8K, your eyes not going to be able to see it. They're just a TV in your living room. In most cases, again, bigger the TV. I'm going off track. I shouldn't even be talking about all this boring shit. But anyway, they scanned it in 4K. It is been preserved in 4K, and they actually have a 4K version. Now the thing is, I was thinking about getting the 4K version, and in retrospect, now I'm thinking I probably should have. But this was a lot cheaper. The 4K version was, I think, like almost $50. And again, this is an individual person or group of people doing this. This isn't, big company doing this. It's kind of like, us. When we go and make physical media, it costs a lot higher than a Blu-ray that you might get at Best Buy, because when you do the production runs for them, anybody out there who has ever done like manufacturing or works in manufacturing, you obviously know the more of something that you buy, the smaller the price, the lower the price goes down in manufacturing. That's just the name of the game. So when you're only doing 2,000 or 3,000 copies of something like us, then the price is going to be a lot more than if you're doing 500,000 or 1 million copies, or 2 or 3 million, like if you're doing Top Gun or something like that. So those companies out there, like Paramount, who's releasing the new Top Gun movie, and it's on 4K for like $30, their profit margin is a lot more than if like somebody like us made a 4K and charged like $30. We might not even we probably make a little bit off of it, maybe a couple of bucks, maybe not at all, but but then again, they're having to do like all this shipping to retailers and advertising and all that stuff. But I'm talking about straight just manufacturing. Again, I'm just going on a tangent. I'm going on a tangent. But so anyway, I guess what I'm trying to say is I understand why the price on this and even the 4K is a little bit higher than what you might expect. I think this was $30. If this was released by a big company and sold on Amazon, it would probably be like 15 to 20 tops. One of the boutique ones, maybe like an Arrow or something like that, you're probably looking closer to like 25 or so. But anyway, yeah, this is a great movie. I recommend. I wouldn't buy the Blu-ray straight up for $30 unless you've seen it. You've seen it. You like it. But if you have, it's out there. You just got to go to legendofboggycreek.com to get it. I think it's actually even on eBay. I think they have an eBay store as well. But legendofboggycreek.com. And this is not they didn't pay me to do this. I wish I would have. I would have taken a free Blu-ray to plug it. If you're listening, reimburse me. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just letting you guys know if you guys want it. It is recommended if you are into like just weird movies from the 70s, I guess I could definitely recommend it. If you're into Bigfoot movies, I can recommend it. It's different. Don't go in it expecting one thing. Just kind of go in it just not really knowing what to expect, and just kind of go with the flow. I think that's my best advice to it. And yeah, maybe turn off the lights and get creeped out a little bit, right? So anyway, I'm gonna enjoy that one. You know, popping that in for the first time, and it's been a while. It's maybe been like 7-8 years since I've seen that one. So I'm gonna finally see it in HD though. That's great. First time I've seen it in HD. So you guys have a good one.